No, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. Yes, clap for the heavyweight champ, me. But I couldn't do it all alone.
Hey guys, welcome back to the I'm Not Lucky, I'm Blessed podcast. Today I'm starting a new segment with me. 10 to 15 minutes of your time with me, and we'll pick a topic and I'll just talk about it in a short period of time, explain what I think it is and what I think it's not. Okay, because I think there are words out there, things out there, a lot of people are getting wrong. And based on my experience, I just want to share some knowledge with you. I'm not a professional in any of these fields, okay, but truth is I have had experiences with them, so I can say a thing or two. And today we shall be talking about the word consistency. Okay, what I think consistency is and what I think consistency is not, and how to apply that to your everyday life. Okay, and so what's the meaning of the word consistency? Excuse me, but I'm just gonna look at the dictionary to define it. Okay, so according to the dictionary, it means the quality or fact of staying the same at different times, especially the quality or fact of being good each time, the quality of fact of having parts that agree with each other, the quality of or part of being thick, slim, firm, and smooth in all times. There's a lot of definitions here, okay, but from my own personal understanding, what is consistency? That's where the whole thing starts. So before I say what consistency is, I want to say what it is not, because that is the most, like, that's where my today's podcast is going to focus on what consistency is not. So number one, consistency doesn't mean you have to do something every day. You get right? Consistency doesn't mean you have to be doing something every day to be considered a consistent person. Consistency means consistency is not you showing up every single day to do something before you can be considered a consistent person. That's one. Number two, consistency doesn't mean that you have to spend hours doing something to be considered a consistent person. Okay? It doesn't mean you have to spend 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, those maximum hours that we all think everyone needs to spend, like, the great spend. And no, that's not what consistency means. Okay? Consistency also doesn't mean that at every time you're doing this thing, you have to be at your 100. Okay, you have to feel good to do what you're doing, or you have to be in the mood to do it. No, that's not what consistency means. So, because why am I saying all this is, I've seen people that, number one, they think consistency means showing up every single day, but it's not. Basically, what consistency means is showing up on the days that you want to show up, the days you decide to show up. Okay, so there are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday in life. Okay, but out of these 7 days, those days that you pick that, okay, I want to show up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's your own definition of consistency. Okay, when you show up on those days, that's what makes you consistent. And everyone's consistency level is different. So what am I saying here? You shouldn't compare your consistency with my consistency. I might be consistent 5 days a week. That's my own consistency. But that doesn't mean you are not consistent. What will make you inconsistent is when you don't show up on those days that you said you will show up. Even someone who shows up once a week, okay, I always love to use this example. The gym is my number one example in life. If you're the type that says, okay, I just want to show up in the gym once a week, and you show up every day, okay, that same day, every week, that same day. So you can say Mondays only, I just want to show up. I can be consistent for one day. That's beautiful. That's consistency right there, But what kills it, what makes that inconsistent is when that day comes and you don't go. When that time comes and you don't go, that's what makes you inconsistent. What makes you inconsistent is not those days that you didn't go, that is not on your schedule. It's those days that you told yourself that you were going to go and you didn't go. That's what makes you inconsistent. Now, my number 2 point was, consistency doesn't mean you have to be at 100 every single time you show up. Okay, so a lot of people, I still use the gym. They show up to the gym, and just because they don't feel good, they think they are not consistent. But that's where we get it wrong. Because those days that we don't feel good and then we show up, those are the days that actually matter. If it's easy, look, I would choose for a situation where I think you build a better muscle when you show up on those days that are difficult for you to show up. You get it, right? If I show up and it's completely fine for me to show up, everything is all right. Like I have the perfect condition to show up. I don't think I'm building enough mental muscle. Like, I mean, it's still the same thing, but you that show up when you don't feel like showing up, when everything is stacked up against you not to show up, you had a busy day at work, your wife or someone pissed you off, like you have zero reason not to show up, okay? And you show up, those are the days that makes you even more consistent, okay? My third point is you don't have to spend hours to be considered a consistent person. What even makes you more consistent is the fact that you have only 20 minutes from that day and you still showed up and did 20 minutes exercise. Do you know how brave you are? Literally, do you know how unique you are? Everyone like can, it's not everyone, but there's this thing I'm trying to say here. Like, it's easy to show up when everything is all right. Life is perfect. Life is wonderful. And you just show up and do what you have to do. Ain't that beautiful? But that doesn't help anyone. It makes you lazy. But the days that you don't feel like coming, okay? The days that you don't feel like showing up, like everything is against you, the traffic is against you, the weather is against you, life is generally against you, and you show up, those are the days that makes you, and not showing up and doing 2 hours or 3 hours that you used to, but just showing up and doing even 5 minutes. You know, the fact that you pushed yourself to the gym, those are the days that actually makes you consistent. Those are the days that build a muscle that nothing in life can break, because it's like, if I can show up on those days when it's easier for me, I literally can show up. You get it, right? So I just talked about 3 things that consistency does not mean, because I see a lot of people like, this is not just I've seen a lot of people think that, oh, because I want to be consistent means I have to show up 7 days a week. I have to be at my best every time I show up, and I have to spend hours doing it. No. Consistency is just once a week. It's considered consistency. If that's what you pick that I can do, then show up that day at that time, okay? At that time for a certain period of time, regardless of how you feel. That's basically what consistency means to me. Showing up on the days that you said you're going to show up, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how tired you are, and doing it for the period of time you said you're going to do. That there is the definition of consistency. So, and don't be ashamed of saying, oh, I'm consistent for only one day. That's what you have. That's what you can do, And with time, you start to build that muscle. You start to build the muscle of discipline that you're like, okay, now if I'm consistent with one day, how about we make it to 2 days? You get right? And then slowly you say, okay, let's make it 3 days. Slowly you say, let's make it 4. And then slowly you say, let's make it 5. And the next thing, you're consistent 7 days a week. But because you're not consistent, because you don't do something 7 days a week, doesn't make you someone that isn't inconsistent. Okay, I'll use myself as an example. Right now, I'm in that phase where sometimes I get 30 minutes of workout a day. I used to get like an hour. But does that mean because I can't get an hour of workout, does that mean I'm inconsistent? No, it's just that, things happen. And now I'm still working out at the same time, regardless of how I feel. But the timing is short. But it is what it is. That's what you have. Okay. So, I don't know if this was helpful to anyone, but honestly, like I said, a lot of people get this old definition of consistency wrong. That you have to be consistent. You have to be at your best every day. You have to show up every single day. No, you don't. Okay, because you're lacking in this field doesn't mean you are not consistent in other fields. You're consistent at work. You're going to work 5 to 7 days a week. That's consistency in your work. You don't have to be. You can put the same level of consistency in the gym or in other areas. But what should make you feel bad is on those days that you said you're gonna show up, you don't show up. That's what makes you inconsistent. Not on the days that you don't want to, like, not on the days that you don't have to show up. If you don't show up on those days, it's okay. If someone else shows up on those days, don't get mad at them. That's what they can show up on. But the thing you should know is that when you're showing up, day 2 might not be showing up. Okay, so with that said, thank you so much, guys, for listening to this audio and also watching this video. If this was helpful, like, share, and also leave a comment. I will be doing more of this. If you want to see more of this, or you have a topic in mind that you want me to talk about, just let me know, and I will definitely do it. Okay, so with that said, peace and be blessed.